Hi there, welcome back to another lazy show where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that it's more productive, more efficient, so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we show up here each Sunday at 10 a.m., and that is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States. So, as always, we're going to start reading some of your comments before we start today's presentation. Asking you, how are you doing today? Let me go to the chat. But before that, of course, before I forget, I want to say thank you to these folks on my screen, because thanks to you that are supporting my work either as a YouTube member or as a Patreon, that's why I'm here today. So thank you very much, folks. And let's jump to the chat now. Oh. Okay. Our friend Xavier is on the chat, says, good morning, Irving, how are you? Last meeting was great. Hi, Xavier, glad to have you here with us today. And you are referring to the CAD meeting that we had last week. Yeah, so I had a great time also, Xavier. It was nice to talk to you guys and meet face to face, right? To know more about you and chat about anything, right? AutoCAD related, or anything that you guys wanted to talk about. So for people who don't know, we do these CAD meetings with our YouTube members once a month. So if you want to know more about it, you can check the information on our page, on our YouTube page. Xavier says, there are few options regarding auto numbers and text editing in Express Tools. Can you explain in future videos, please? I haven't received anything helpful on YouTube. Sure, Xavier, we can do a live stream or a video in the future about Express Tools in AutoCAD, right? There are many Express Tools that we can utilize to save some time, right? Working in AutoCAD. So definitely I'm gonna put that on my to-do list. Xavier. Wellington says, good day to everyone. Hi, Jeff. Thank you for being here with us again. That's awesome that you keep up with the live streams. Very happy for that. Our friend Douglas is also on the chat. Morning all. Hi, Doug. Thank you for being here with us again. You were also on our CAD meeting last week, last Sunday. That was great. Ahad is on the chat, says hi. Hi, Ahad. Happy to have you here also, as always. We are 7 people live. That's great that more and more people are joining us live each Sunday now to learn more about AutoCAD, right? And try to learn some techniques so that way you don't waste your time when using this program, right? We have a new person, Fridos. Fridos, I think you are new. It's first time I see your name, so that's great. That simply means that either YouTube, Facebook, or now LinkedIn is recommending our live shows to more and more folks, right? So that means we're doing something good here. So welcome aboard, Fridos. And I don't know if that's your real name, but if you can give us your real name, that would be awesome. Do you do any tutorials on 3D modeling MicroStation? Right now, at this moment, we don't have any MicroStation tutorials, but maybe in the future, right? Who knows? Things change, technology change, and we have to keep up with technology, right? So, but at this moment, we don't have MicroStation tutorials. Our friend Duke says, what's up, Irving? What's up, Duke? Hope you're doing good today. We're gonna learn something awesome today, a technique in Autocad that you can immediately apply to your workflow, right? To save some time. Walking on sunshine. So on the chat says afternoon, sun is shining and I've been outside. Rachel, good afternoon to you. So yeah, thank you for being here, Rachel, with us. Abdullah Khan says, good morning, boss. Good morning, Khan. Happy to have you here again in another live stream. So thank you for that. And our friend Duke says, Rachel, careful one there, you aren't used to the sun. All right. So we have last comment, IDB. Okay, it looks like you guys are talking to each other. That's great that you're not only now just interacting with me live, but also between you guys on the chat. All right, so I think with 6 people connected live, we're gonna start today's presentation. And as always, you can interrupt me at any time during my presentation with your questions, ideas, suggestions, anything that you wanna talk about, right? So I'm gonna get ready over here on my other screen, and we're gonna start today's live stream. Okay. All right. Okay. So, my client. I want to work efficiently with my elevations, but having multiple height tags causes errors and creates confusion. For instance, I often find myself changing from canopy to owning multiple times. 4 times to be exactly, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there a way to simplify this process and globally edit my information in AutoCAD? So that was my client, and he was right. He had the same information for the elevation tags on the 4 of those exterior elevations. So the way I kind of solved this issue for my client, first let me do undo with Control Z, right? So the way I kind of helped this to solve this situation was first thinking, is there a way to somehow manage my information from one location instead of having to edit my information 4 times, right? So the way I did this was going over here and find the main elevation, in this case the front, which was this one, and I left those elevation tags there. However, I removed the other ones because again there were the same information. So what I did is again remove those elevation tags and only kept the one from the front, and this was the location that I wanted to manage the elevation tags also for the other 3 elevations. And the way I kind of achieved this was going to my paper space and utilizing viewports. So how I did it was selected this viewport from the main entrance building over here and copy that out with using the keyboard shortcut Control Shift C, and I use this to copy from a base point of the corner of my building, like so, from this point, and pasted it with Control V again to this other corner, like so. So once I did that, I resized my viewport like so, but I had a problem over here because some of the items from the other main elevation were still showing over here. So how I solved this problem was getting inside the viewport by double clicking on it and went to my layer properties manager. So over here I first checked the layer for this elevation tag that was R tag. So once I knew that, I went and tried to find that tag over here on the layer palette. So once I found it, I selected all of my layers with Control A on my keyboard, and then holding the Control key, I selected my elevation tag layer, which was again R tag, and finally I proceeded to find the BP freeze or viewport freeze option and went ahead and clicked to check that option, so that way I will only see my elevation tag on this viewport. Finally, I went and double click outside my viewport and proceeded to copy this viewport using the same procedure, using the Control Shift C to copy it again from the corner of my building from this point like so, and went ahead and went to my other elevations to paste it from the same base point or corner of my building, and of course getting again inside my viewport, going to my layers and freeze these layers inside the viewport. And finally I went ahead and to finish this, I copy the same viewport with the Control Shift S and went ahead and pasted in my last elevation like so. So this way, whenever my client wanted to update or modify elevation height information, like for instance, this is not a canopy but it's an awning, so whenever he needed now to change an information, let's say canopy to awning, he will have to do it only once and all of the elevations would update automatically to awning. Isn't this great, guys? What do you think about this workflow of utilizing viewports to your advantage, so you don't have to waste time having multiple information, so you can manage only from one location? So what do you think? Let me know on the chat, and we're gonna read some of your comments to see what do you think about this workflow. It's quick and it's easier, but from now on my client will have to only edit his information in one location. So let me go to the chat and read some of your comments. Let me know what you think about this workflow of utilizing viewports. I want to hear from you. Let's see. We have so many comments today. That's awesome. Our friend Kelkar is on the chat. I think you're also new, Kelkar. So, but welcome aboard. I'm glad that more folks are finding our live streams that we do on Sunday at 10 a.m. to help stop wasting your time in AutoCAD, right? So hello, Kelkar. Our friend Duke says, oh, it looks like you guys are talking to each other. Let's see over here. Kelkar says, would you make a video on a structural drawings making process? Structural drawings. Sure, I can put that on my to-do list, Kelkar. So I'm not really an expert per se in structural. For people who don't know, I'm into architecture. That's what I do. That's where I work. But of course, we also need to do at least the basics of a structural, right? But thank you for the recommendation. Let's see over here. We have more comments. Our friend Duke says, I use the freeze BP often. Yes, Duke. So it kind of looks like you're already using this approach of this workflow to your advantage. That's great. Yes, the freeze BP option, that's what we used in today's presentation to kind of simplify the process, right, of managing or editing information. See. So let me know on the chat, guys, what do you think about this workflow of utilizing viewports to kind of centralize the location so you can edit your information from one place, right? You don't want to waste time doing things 4 times like my client was doing it. So let's see over here. There is a question also on the chat. And we just make that a block with attributes. Here we go, Duke. Duke is giving us another idea here. That's an option also, my friend Duke. So for people who are not following along, our friend Duke's suggestion is to make all of this into a block, right? So all of these elevation tags into a block, so that way when you copy all of them to each elevation, you will be able to update only one, and that way, again, that's another option, Duke. That's a great option also. However, I like to use the viewport options because it's cleaner, it's easier, but again, there are multiple preferences or options to do the same thing in AutoCAD, right? But thank you for that idea, our friend Duke. So let's see if we have more comments over here. Our friend Rachel is asking 345 layers on a drawing. What size MB is that drawing? Okay, let me check that. That's a good question. Let's see. Yeah, so the size, Rachel is asking about the size of the drawing, and the size is 1444 kV, Rachel. And you're right, we should purge this drawing because again, that's not a good size for an AutoCAD drawing, right? Usually it's between 500 to 800 kV. That's about you know, like a regular size, but that's a great comment right there, or question, Rachel. Let's see over here. Let's see what else do you guys think about this quick workflow that we went over. Rachel, okay. So walking, or Rachel says, ditto Douglas, same with me. Okay, so you guys use the block attribute option, I believe, right? You, Doug, and Rachel. Our friend Doug says, I will try your way for sure. Yeah, dude, give it a shot, give it a try, and see what's the difference between this approach and your way of managing your information from one location, right? Let's see over here. Our friend Rachel says, I don't think I've ever used 345 layers ever. Our friend Jeff Wellington says, hey, why not the lazy perch command? Jeff, yeah, sure, I can do that, I guess, right now. Let me try it. So let me go and open the folder for this project. It's right here. Let's see if I have that. Let's see if I have that available right now. Okay. All right. So just because our friend Jeff is requesting it, he's basically talking about the lazy perch command, which we created it in the channel, right? In a live stream. It's simply an upgrade to the regular perch command, which is quick, it's easy. So let's do that live. I mean, I'm not prepared for that, but let's try it live. So this is the folder, the file that I'm utilizing, and that's the size right here. So let's see. So let's try it, right? Let's try the lazy perch as our friend Jeff is requesting it. So let's see. All right. So let me open that folder again. And here we go, guys. So from 100, oh sorry, from 1444 KB, we reduced the size to 112 KB, which is great, right? So now I can erase this file and simply go ahead and rename my drawing and open it, right? So, all right. So thank you for the recommendation, Jeff. So so we just use the lazy perch command live to clean our drawing, right? All right, so let's keep moving. Thank you, Jeff. Our friend Doug says, block each view and reduce the size. Each view. What do you mean, Doug? Block each view? Maybe you can expand on that, Doug. But I believe we already reduced our drawing size, right? So that's our current drawing size, and we reduce it from this size. That was an idea from our friend Jeff to utilize a command that we previously created, the lazy perch. So it worked beautifully. Thank you, Jeff. So let's see, we have more comments. Merge layers, Douglas. That's another option. You guys have many ideas to kind of do the same thing. Rachel is suggesting to merge layers. We can do that also, Rachel, but I think purging works quicker. Duke says, yes, Rachel, but layers themselves with nothing on them don't use up many bytes. Rachel says, flip side, it's filters, then it's and as is handy appropriate layer. Flip side is filters then. Also, Rachel, do you use filters for layers? So let me go over here. So Rachel is talking about this option over here on the layer palette, the filters option, where you can, you know, filter some layers so that way you can quickly. To be honest with you, Rachel, I don't use the layer palette that often. I kind of don't need it. So I have some commands to manage and edit my objects, my layer properties without opening the layer palette. So again, that's a personal preference. Duke says, I love layer filters. Yeah, you guys do that a lot, working with layer filters. I kind of avoid it. I kind of avoid to use this layer palette at all. For instance, you probably guys, whenever you need a new layer, right? You say, oh no, I need a new layer. Okay, you open your property, your layer palette, and then you go ahead and create a new layer. You rename it, you assign a color, and so on. I never do that. I have already my layers in one drawing, all of my layers. And whenever I need one in a specific layer, I simply use the import layer or lazy import layer command that we created on the channel. So that way I bring all of my layers at once, right? I don't have to, here we go, it's right here, layers. So I simply click on it and all of my layers will be available for me. So that's why I never use the layer palette. But if you guys love using filters, that's good for you also. So our friend Jeff says it works great. Oh, our friend Jeff, I think, is referring to the lazy purge command that we just utilized to clean our drawing. That was your idea, Jeff. But thank you. Today we have plenty of comments. That's great. We're almost about to wrap up today's live stream. But let me finish going through your comments. So Rachel says, do you use Rachel says, do you use purge regaps? I mean, it's included in this. I think you're talking about the lazy purge command, right? That we just utilized live. I mean, it's included in this command, Rachel. So to answer your question, yes. If you use the lazy purge command, it will also purge your recaps. That's why the size dramatically was reduced, right? You can see the difference. All right, so let's keep moving. Michael says, with filters, you can really clean up a cluttered drawing. Yes, Duke. So, yes, that's the benefit of using filters with your layer palettes. Duke says, Rachel says, 100% Duke. Duke says, yes, I do, but not often. My drawings are residential, not that large. Rachel says, I had one by a noob to cut 57 MB, everything on the one drawing. 57 megabytes, wow. That's a lot. So share the lazy perch command with your friend Rachel. Might be helpful to him, right? Help your brother out. Duke says, block the view once drawing is finished. Block each view of the building. View will be one entity instead of 100,000. I'm still trying to understand your comment, Duke. Block the view, you mean block the viewport? By view, you mean viewport? Yes, I use filters. If Rachel says, if you have your layers made, doesn't that stop you using the purge command? Doesn't that stop you using the purge command? No, I mean, never had any problem using my layer, my pre-made layers with my purge command, Rachel, because most of the time you want to clean or purge your drawings when you're almost done with your projects, right? You are maybe 90% done or 99% done with your project. You want to maybe share it with your consultants. That's where you purge your drawings, right? You clean them up, you organize them because you're almost done. So that's why I never had any problems, Rachel. All right, so we are about to wrap up today's live stream. So let me read your last comments before we finish this live stream. And our friend Rachel is with 9 people connected live. That's great. If the layers you import aren't used, Purge will clean them out. I think I just answered your question already, my friend Rachel. Mobile Legends says, if you buy Mobile Legends, I think, by the way, what's your real name? I think you're also new to the live stream. That's great. Again, more and more folks are finding our live streams because, you know, either YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn is recommending our live streams to more people, and I'm very happy for that. If you buy an XREF, does it automatically become a block? Then that XREF block cannot be purged instantly. Oh, okay, that's a great question. So if you buy an XREF, yes, it does automatically become a block. So the answer is yes. And then your second part question is, then that XREF block cannot be purged instantly. That's correct. So that's correct. But to answer the second part of your question is, when you bind an XREF, 90% of the time you want to explode that XREF, right? Because if you're trying to bind it, meaning you're bringing that XREF into your current drawing and you don't need them to be an external reference anymore. So then 90%, that's what I do. When I bind an XREF, I explode that block, right, in my current drawing so I can utilize and keep working. Because there's no need now to keep it. I mean, maybe there is, but 90% of the time, that's what I do. So, but you're saying then that XREF block cannot be purged. Of course, it's not going to be purged because if you have a block right now, so this is a block right now. So, and this block, let me find the name, is right here. ELV mark, elevation mark, that's the name of my block. Of course, if I have this block over here in model space, I'm not gonna be able to purge this block, right? So, but that's how AutoCAD works, and hopefully I answered your question, Mobile Legends. So again, explode that block, and that way you can purge anything that you want. A dropout engineer says, "Hello, sir. Dropout engineer, you're late to the live stream. We are almost about to wrap this up." Xiomara says, "Hi, Xiomara." Says, "Thanks, Lazy, for everything." Our friend Duke says, "Block, not block each view in model space. Block the north view, block the east view, and so on. Each block registers as one entity." Oh, okay. So you wanna create a block of each elevation, right? You wanna create a block, and you wanna do that to save space, I believe, right, Duke? Yeah, I mean, you can do that, Duke. Again, that's a personal preference. You can do that. You can create a block of each elevation, and yes, you can save some memory right there. But I find that way a little tedious, because you'll have to edit the block in place to modify your drawing. So again, that's a personal preference, Duke. Khan says, "Boss, is there any way how to make large group filters for the existing layers in a drawing and layers we import, that is, for example, lazy layer import group filter for both?" Oh, okay, that's a good idea, Khan. So let me clarify this question. What Khan is asking is kind of automate the layer groups over here, or filters, whenever we used our lazy layer import command, right? So this, again, we created this command on the channel. If you are interested, you can find it, lazy layers. So he's asking if we can somehow automate the process of, whenever we use this command to bring our layers, the layer palette will automatically create a filter or a group for those imported layers. That's a good question. Never thought about that, never tried, but I'll definitely take a look at it and get back to you. If there is a way, I can do a video or a live stream. But thank you, Khan, for the idea. So I like when you guys give me ideas or suggestions for future videos. That's awesome. And I noticed that most of you are interested on layer filters, so I'll consider, or I'll put that on my to-do list, definitely. Walking on Sunshine says, "Great question, mobile." Let's see. All right, guys, so I think I'm gonna stop right here and start thinking about our next Sunday live stream topic. If you have ideas, suggestions, you can, of course, put it on any of our video comments, right? We have more than 500 videos already on YouTube. That's crazy. Let's see. Mobile says, Mobile, what's your real name, please? So everybody can kind of talk to you in a more personal way, right? instead of just saying mobile. Um, so last time, even if I explode the extra block, it stays on the block list. That's a common problem. Mobile. Again, what's your real name? Mobile. That's a common problem. And I think it's worth it of doing a video or a live stream about it, right? Because yes, I faced this problem also myself, and I was able to force or purge this block, right? But maybe I can do a video on like 3 ways to fix this problem, right? So thank you for the idea, Mobile. I'll definitely do a video about that. Yes, I don't do it, but if necessary. Excellent. Boom. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna stop right here. And I'm gonna go and get breakfast because I always finish these live streams very hungry. So let's see. Thank you, boss. Thank you very much for your videos. Have a wonderful day. All right, guys. So have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you here next Sunday.